Okay, okay. What do you call that move?
I call it the Homer. I learned it by watching The Simpsons.
Okay, now maybe you agree with me. The Simpsons, is that the best show ever in the history of American television or what?
The only show I watch on television.
Okay, well let me tell you something about it that you may not know. It's written here in America. The voices are recorded here. But do you have any idea where that show is animated?
California.
Good guess, but you're wrong. No, Seoul, Korea. Try that on for size. Yeah.
Really?
A lot of cartoons are animated in Korea now. And you know, when I first heard that, I got this idea that Korean animation was probably like a Nike sweatshop. You know, that you'd have these little robots sitting there all day long, you know, getting prodded to like, draw faster. But Doug Stone and P.H. O'Brien, who, now you know,
Best.
they just did your piece.
The best.
Double dose on split screen. I think it's the first time ever. They went all the way to Seoul, Korea to find out what the real deal is behind the Korean animation of The Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
When you're making a movie, okay, you need to understand the plots, you know, you need to understand the story point, and you really need to understand the gags, you know? Like, for example, when Bart calls his dad, hey man, you know, or hey old man, or whatever he's calling, right? Things like that, we don't understand it. We don't call our fathers, hey man. Animators, they need to have the attitude, you know? When Bart says, hey man, the expression on Bart's face needs to be carefully expressed, drawn, so that, you know, he's looking like he's saying, hey man. We're at ACOM. We're here. This is ACOM here. Early 1980s, because of the high wage problems in Hollywood at that time, they start looking at different options. And look, I say hello to my plant. This plant is dying. When the directors and producers from Hollywood came through Korea and said, okay, we want to make this film, they would actually teach these people, teach Koreans how to animate. I mean, anybody can animate, but without the proper timing, animation is dead.
Here's Bart.
Look at that. Bart. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like Bart is being strangled by Homer.
Homer, yeah.
Is that right?
Looks like it. Exactly.
Aha.
Here.
There's Homer, and there's his arm strangling Bart.
He doubts if many fathers in U.S. would strangle their son. No, it's not possible in Korea. But it's very funny, and he likes it.
그러면서도 또 자식의 그 정은 또 기본적으로 가지고 있더라고, 이 아버지가.
But even though Homer strangles Bart, he still loves his son, right?
Boy, you don't have to follow in my footsteps.
Don't worry, I don't even like using the bathroom after you.
Why, you little...
Our main language is not English. We don't have the American culture where we can understand all the slangs and whatnot. So we don't understand 100%. But we do understand a little bit, you see.
Now, stay tuned for a video Christmas card from Tupac Shakur.
Hey, I thought Krusty was Jewish. Christmas is a time when people of all religions come together to worship Jesus Christ.
This is very old animatic, sent from U.S.
Oh, so this comes from the U.S.?
Yeah.
So basically his job is to take this and turn it into the TV show.
Christmas is a time when people of all religions come together to worship Jesus Christ.
This is Marge.
So what is she doing now?
She's painting the drawings on cells.
Each cell has to be drawn individually.
Yeah. Average, they paint almost 100 cells a day.
How many cells are in each show?
About 20,000.
20,000?
Yeah.
What are their hours?
10 to 6:30.
10 to 6:30? It's not too bad.
Not too bad.
I'm here live in Korea to give you a first-hand look at how American cartoons are made.
Can you talk about an episode of The Simpsons where that showed Korean animators animating?
It is revealing the insights of how actually Simpsons animation is done in Korea. But I think there was some people had misunderstood. It wasn't. They weren't looking at it positively. They were looking at it pessimistically. You know, saying that Korean forces were Korean labor forces hard at work, kind of thing, you know, and it was much more negative. They were perceived much more negatively than rather optimistically.
I know that you knew a lot about America before you started working here.
Yeah.
But if you could just give us some examples of things that about American culture that you picked up from the show that you thought was interesting.
Well, we Koreans don't talk bad things about our country or our family or the company that we are working in. But when I see the Simpsons, the storyboards, I find so many things.
I didn't know you knew Luke Perry. He's a big TV star.
Yeah, on Fox.
Could we look at the main model book?
모델 좀 볼게요. This is the model when they were born.
그리는 뭐 방.
Indicates how to draw.
Each character?
Yeah, each character.
So Bart changed over the years.
Yeah.
초창기인데요.
Yeah. This is the first season's model.
Mm-hmm.
A little different.
Whose idea was it to change the...
It's not really anybody's idea. They draw the same character over and over again during some years, and the lines get simpler, and they see it on film in the US, and they give us back the refined models.
They haven't changed a bit, have they?
So it's really a collaboration.
Yeah, we try to follow exactly what they want, and we try to refuse to put our creative mind on it, but unconsciously we would put our style in this show.
I think Korean people, certainly not just a robot, you know, and okay, this is what it says, so do that. I think when they do things, there's a hidden, like you said, like an intangible feeling, intangible movement that has been prescribed into the actual animation that maybe American audiences don't realize is there. Yeah, I think that's what it is.